Hello, welcome to another edition of Tim's Vinyl Confessions. Always a pleasure to go through my vinyl with you. Thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying the shows. This one's not going to be a long one. I haven't got a lot of vinyl to talk about. But tonight I'm going to do Bon Jovi. Band that needs no introduction. I've got a little bit of their stuff on vinyl, but not a lot, and we'll talk about it. Here's the first Bon Jovi album. Came out in 1984. Glossy cover here. And this is a case where this is a young band coming out, so they weren't likely to get a gatefold cover. But if you could see, and if I had two copies of it, it's one continuous street scene. But that's not the point. So this is the back cover as well. The rest of the band. We'll see what's inside of this for... Actually, you don't see the first Bon Jovi album on vinyl all that much. Picture of the band. It's interesting to look at. It was so young back then, and you could tell. Right here, the lyrics and the credits. This is inside the cassette and the CD too, but that's a cool Bon Jovi logo. Now, they didn't end up using it, but I really like that logo there. Very typical Mercury pressing. Definitely not a custom label at this point. And that's the first one. Of course, 1985. The second Bon Jovi album, 7800 degrees Fahrenheit. Pretty much they have the logo that they would use the rest of their career. Back cover. Song titles. Kind of hard to read the song titles on the top because of the background. Now, the inner sleeve of this album, which is also, like the first album, it's not that easy to find on vinyl. Here are the lyrics. And this is a ton of pictures from the band on tour. And if you start to look through these pictures, there are a lot of famous people posed with them. I wish that I could go through each one upside down, but I'm not very good at that. For instance, I believe that's Meatloaf that they're posing with there. That's John with Gene Simmons. Let's see, is there anyone else here? I think there, I seem to recall there is. It's Richie Sambora with Klaus Meine of the Scorpions in that picture. I believe that's the band with Aldo Nova. And it wouldn't surprise me. Okay, yeah. That's Alex Such, David Bryan, and Paul Stanley. This cool thing about vinyl, and these pictures did not, I don't think, even make it inside of the original CD. Probably in the remastered versions. Let's see what the actual album looks like. See, oddly enough, even though this, certainly their big success was one album away, Mercury gave them a custom label. It wasn't the typical Mercury label, so it's kind of a cream color with a blue print on it for 1700 Fahrenheit. Of course, I don't need to tell too many people, it's the third Bon Jovi album that made all the difference. That would be this one, Slippery When Wet. One of the biggest selling rock and roll albums of all time. Classic logo in red. I mean, you know, this album sold countless copies. Now, maybe more cassettes than anything else. Maybe not so much records, so maybe you don't know what's inside of this thing. Here we go. Side 1, side 2. And that's obviously the band from the set of the You Give Love a Bad Name video. Of course, this album was originally going to have a totally different cover, but that didn't happen. Oddly enough, this is in yellow, not black, all the lyrics to the songs, or most of the lyrics to the songs. On the bottom we have a car wash scene here with some ladies washing cars along with the band. And if you don't know what the original concept of the album cover was, it had to do with this car wash scene. I'll leave it at that. So here's the logo for the label for Slippery When Wet. Pretty understated considering what a big album this ended up being, but I would imagine there may be different labels for this because they pressed such an amount of copies. Follow up, and my personal favorite, New Jersey. Now, this is rare in that I actually bought this album when it was less than a year old. So I actually bought this new. This was not bought used. So it's still in pretty good shape. Front and back cover. This is a Hugh Syme album design. Very famous album designer. If you've ever seen any Rush graphics, you've seen the work of Hugh Syme. Or White Snake around the same time period had this grainy stone look to it. If you've ever had the cassette or CD to New Jersey, there's not a lot different, just bigger. Photo of the band there, credits, and all of the lyrics. And the label itself is really cool. The Bon Jovi label there in gray and like a brown, and the song titles and everything and the songwriting credits are all handwritten. That's it for the Bon Jovi band vinyl I have. I do have one more thing to show you, which is probably more rare than any of the other albums we've talked about. By 1990, early 90s, you weren't seeing a lot of vinyl in stores. But this came out in 1990. It's John Bon Jovi's soundtrack to the movie Young Guns 2, Blaze of Glory. Of course, song of the same name became a huge hit single from that album. Song titles, information about the movie there. Do not see too many records from the early 90s, so this is a keeper. Another picture of John there. Lyrics, credits, and the label itself, curiously enough, we're back to the typical Mercury Records logo. So there you go, it's my Bon Jovi vinyl collection. I don't have any singles or anything past 1990 on vinyl. At least not yet, who knows. It's Tim's Vinyl Confessions. Take classic rock artists and look through the vinyl that I myself own and show it to you. Thank you for watching, and look for some other episodes if you like what you see.